Now, the third step is planning your park and rest days. In a 7-day trip, it is possible to do all 4 resorts. 4 parks, I'm sorry. You can do Animal Kingdom, Magic Kingdom, Epcot, and Hollywood Studios. I think what we chose for 7 days, we took in consideration that it's going to be a long day no matter what park you're going to, because you want to get the most out of the experience. So I think the first day we go to the first full day we're there, we go to the Magic Kingdom, but then the next day we take the day off. So, and then the day after that, we're going to Epcot. The day after that, take a day off, and then we go to Magic Kingdom. So there's always a rest period. There's, you can, there's a lot you can do on a rest day. You can, just hang around in the pool, chill out at the food court, have a soda pop. You can, take the bus and go to Disney Springs. And another thing that I wish I knew before is you can visit any resort on property, any resort. The only thing you can't do in those resorts are swim and go into a room or sleep in a room, but you can eat at all the restaurants. And last year we took full to advantage of the idea of going to resorts, and we went to 9 in the course of 2 days, and it burnt us out. Again, what I said earlier, you're not going to be able to do everything in Disney, so plan it accordingly, take your time, and don't burn yourself out. Even if it's your one and done at Disney, if you feel you're only gonna go to Disney once and that's it, and maybe in some other video we might break down.
And we've done it both ways. The first 2 trips that we took in 2012 and 2016, we did do all 4 parks. We always do 2 days at Magic Kingdom, just because it's my favorite park, and I want to be able to try to do everything at least more than once. But the first 2 times we did do all 4 parks. We didn't really rest too much in between or whatever, but with the last trip, even though we only went to 1 park, we only did 2 days in the Magic Kingdom because our trip was fairly short. It was only 4 days. And so we took our 2 rest days and decided to resort hop, which was actually more exhausting than spending 14 hours in the Magic Kingdom. Yeah. So this year we have decided to skip out on Hollywood Studios, and we are skipping out on Animal Kingdom. A lot of people will say, well, don't you want to see Pandora? Well, yeah, yes. But I don't want to see it when there's 10,000 people trying to walk around it. And I just, we don't feel like it's the time right now, where we want to visit that. So it just, made it easier for us to, stick with our 2 Magic Kingdom days and then throw an Epcot day in there and have a rest day in between, because if I get back after, it's 1:30 in the morning from being in the Magic Kingdom, and I don't want to be up at 7 o'clock to get on the bus to go to another park. It's nice after a 15 hour day in the park, which we usually do because it's just the 2 of us. I'd rather just sleep in the next morning and, hang out at the pool. We have some non-park day dining reservations this year, which we'll get into after. But that's, another cool thing, making those on non-park days. We don't have to worry about missing park time necessarily to go do that. And another thing to consider on non-park days is, 3 of the biggest things that you can do is Disney Springs. You can spend an entire day in Disney Springs and you might not be able to see everything.
Yeah, it's a lot of restaurants, a lot of shops, and a lot of bars. but there are some entertainment value to have there. You know, a couple of like attractions, characters in flight, and a little train for the kids.
And also, there are the 2 water parks. You have Blizzard Beach and Typhoon Lagoon.
And like the thing about doing 4 parks, it's changed ever since we did 4 parks. When we did 4 parks, Animal Kingdom and Hollywood Studios were a half-a-day park. And for probably until I think May or late May of 2018, this year obviously, Hollywood Studios is a half-a-day park. They really don't have much there, but they're opening Toy Story Land in May. So it's going to get crazy busy there. Maybe that will make Animal Kingdom a little more like tolerable when it comes to going to Pandora. But again, Animal Kingdom is no longer really a half-a-day park. You can do it in half a day. It's possible, you know. But everything's becoming a full-time park. So, you know, make sure to take that in consideration. I'd advise listen to us and watching videos on YouTube if you have any questions about, you know, what a park has in order. Another thing I want to cover before we move on about park days is how do you go about like purchasing park tickets? Because there's a part of your plan where you purchase, you know, we purchased 3 park days. So there's that, and I don't know if I'll set a link to where you can go check out the prices on that one, or do you?
Well, what you can do is when you book your reservation, you can either book what's, you know, a room-only reservation, and, you know, you can get park tickets through travel agents or, you know, some outside, you know, company or whatever. But I find the easiest thing when I'm booking a reservation is I just book a package. So you got your resort, you can add your park days if you want to add the park hopper, so you can go to more than 1 park in a day. If you get just the base ticket, you can only go to 1 park per day. If you add the park hopper, you can go to all 4 parks in one day if you want to. But
and if you decide to get any old pass holder, if you get really into this, then once you buy that ticket, you can pretty much go whenever you want. I mean, there are exceptions, but that's for another day.
So, I don't know. I just think it's easier to get everything right through Disney Reservations. It's one-stop shopping. If you need to make any changes or whatever, you can do it all right there.
And I think the last thing to cover in a park thing is, we said earlier about Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party and the Very Merry, and what's the Christmas one?
Very Merry Christmas Party.
Now, these are what are called hard tickets. So, for example, if you're going to choose the Halloween party and you go October 28th, there's going to be a schedule. You'll be able to go on any Disney app and find a schedule when it pops up. If I decided to go on the park and go to Magic Kingdom that day, and Magic Kingdom tickets, you know, cost what they do. If I don't buy a ticket to the Halloween party at 7 o'clock, you're gonna have to leave. So if you're like, oh, I'm gonna be at Disney from like, you know, 10 o'clock and, you know, 8 o'clock in the morning to 11 o'clock at night, if there's extra magic hours, that isn't how it works. If you want to stay past 7 o'clock, you have to buy, and if you want to go to the Halloween party, you have to buy a separate ticket. Not quite sure about the prices on that, but a friend of mine at work went, and they were going during Halloween, and I thought it was important to let them know that, like, there's a Halloween party there, and just because you have a park ticket to go into Magic Kingdom, you're gonna have to leave at 7 o'clock, and, you know, there's, you know, the happily ever after fireworks thing, or you've planned to go see this new firework display at Magic Kingdom, and now you can't go because 7 o'clock you have to leave. So make sure to keep that in mind.
Another thing to think about when planning park days is extra magic hours. And what that is it's a benefit available to guests staying on Walt Disney World property. And it usually means that a certain theme park will either open a little bit earlier or will stay open a little bit later. Usually if they do morning extra magic hours, it's only an hour. If they do nighttime extra magic hours, it's usually 2 hours. So for instance, if Magic Kingdom was open from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. on this particular day, and they have extra magic hours, they may be open till 11 p.m. Extra magic hours are both good and bad. It's great to have that extra time, but it also may mean that particular park will be more crowded on that day.
Yeah.
So that's another thing to think about. Also, what we have done on one of our trips, and I know we may try to do it a couple times this year, is get to the park for rope drop. So, you get there a little bit, I know, especially with Magic Kingdom, which is the one that we did it for. They'll let you into the park, but you can only go down Main Street USA as far as the castle. And, they have this cute little welcome show and all that kind of stuff. But all the areas coming from the hub that go to the different lands are roped off. And you can kind of go there and, wait at the rope. And then when the official time the park opens, they drop those ropes and you can go wherever you need to go.
Yeah, I mean, it did help us because we walked on the Haunted Mansion. Then we walked over the Frontierland, and I got on Big Thunder Mountain in 10 minutes. The third ride was Pirates of the Caribbean, and that's where the line started to build. So you might want to plan like an hour after the park opens your first Fast Pass, which we'll get into in a few. So you can hit 3 rides I hit 3 rides in probably the equivalent of just over an hour, which is actually pretty good for that park. So.